Warm good morning, one and all. I'm CA Anubi Francis, Chairman of Thrissur Branch. On behalf of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee of ICA, welcome all the participants in today's webcast on branding skills for chartered accountants. I also welcome CA Anuj Goyal, Chairman of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee in his absence. ICA Sri Priya Kumar, Vice Chairperson of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee of ICA for today's program. Both of them will be joining in a short time. I would like to invite today's resource person and the speaker of the day, CA Perniti Aditya, and the event enablers from Thrissur branch of SARC of ICA and other present over here. With these words, we are directly going to the speaker, and the other persons will be joining and we'll be getting time to interact with them later on. I would like to request CA Satish TG, Vice Chairman of Thrissur branch, to describe the objectives of this program.
I'm audible. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And I'm delighted to speak you about the objective of our program, which centers around the crucial aspect of building a strong brand. Building a strong brand takes time and dedication, and it is not an overnight journey, but it is a continuous process of growth and refinement. By specializing our expertise, fostering a strong online presence, engaging in content marketing, and strategically networking, you can establish yourself as a trusted advisor on a global stage. Embrace cultural sensitivity, leverage technology, and remain committed to continuous learning to thrive in the dynamic world of business. Together, by focusing on these objectives, we can establish ourselves as a trusted advisors on the global stage. Thank you. Over to you, Chairman.
Thank you, Satish TG, for the wonderful objective description. I would like to welcome CA Ashish Vincent, the vibrant young member of Thrissur branch, to introduce the speaker of the day. Ashish, over to you.
Thank you. The speaker of today is CA Parinita Dukia. She is a personal branding coach. She works with professionals and practicing chartered accountants to help work on their branding and grow faster. She has worked with professionals from companies like PwC, Kotak Bank, HSBC, Arkan Technologies, NSC, Cipla, and a lot of other chartered accountants. She has coached professionals and students till date. She focuses on making each individual capable to express themselves the best so they become successful and gain authority. She has spoken on this topic widely and has conducted sessions on this.
Thank you, Ashish, for the wonderful introduction of the faculty. Before we are starting to the session, we have a disclaimer. The views described by the speaker is personal views, and ICA will always ask the members to read about the professional ethics also regarding the views expressed by the speaker. With this first, I'm welcoming CA Pernita Adukia, speaker of the day, to have a wonderful session for the members of ICA. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Anup sir. Very well conducted. Thank you, first of all, Ashish, for introducing me so well and using such kind words. Thank you to the committee, PSES committee, which is organizing such value-adding, sessions for the members. I think this is a very, very good drive for the members. So on that note, Sri Priya ma'am, Anuj sir, Sambit sir, thank you so much for the invitation. Thank you, Satish and the Thrissur branch for organizing this particular event. On that note, Satish sir has very well defined the objective of the session. We will be talking about branding specifically for chartered accountants. We will be concentrating on ethical branding. Like Anup sir has already mentioned, whatever that I'm going to share today with the audience is something that has come out of of course, me being a CA, plus my experience working with other chartered accountants. And as we all know, we have a lot of code of ethics around branding, advertising, marketing, networking, all these aspects that a chartered accountant can take. But again, as it is a law, it is all about interpretation. There might be some gray areas where we are trying to work out, we are trying to understand and analyze the idea or the goal behind having such code of ethics. And I think once you understand that, things become a bit clearer as to what the application should be. So on that note, like Anup sir has said, the views and whatever suggestions are my personal, my experience. I still suggest the audience to, if you have any doubts, anywhere you feel you have any, even a bit hint, please go back to the code of ethics or consult more chartered accountants into practice, or you can even reach out to the ICI for further clarification on any of the points. Okay. So on that note, let's begin with the presentation. So as this is a webcast, I know there'll be this will not be a very interactive type of a session. For a lot of things that I will be saying, I will be contributing, and I will be sharing my experience on the things. And of course, there are some action points that I will keep telling you to do. Do make a note of it. If you can do it on the spot with me, well and good, or just make a note of it and work on it later. So the way that we will be conducting the whole webcast is a action oriented plan. So there are steps that we will understand the steps that are actually needed to create a brand for yourself, and make a note of those steps and keep working on them. I will also guide you how to do those steps and what exactly do you need to take from each step, because of course it's a very huge topic. Perfect. On that note, let's move forward. So the topic for today is ethical branding for chartered accountants. So we'll begin with few questions I want to throw at you for you to start, pumping up your brain and see, okay, these are few aspects about a practice that you should also be thinking, right? So what are your sales strategies? How do you get leads? Where do you market yourself? What are your sales numbers? How is your numbers growing? What is your goal in sales? Do you know these answers? Moving forward, are you digitally active? Do you know the right platform for you to, market yourself digitally, or being active digitally? Are you using those social media platforms or website or blogging, all these aspects correctly to build a brand for yourself? What are your digital marketing strategies? Of course, marketing as a word is gray. You cannot do a lot of marketing things, but still there are a lot of strategies that you can definitely apply. So are you doing that? What are your strategies around that? Have you built a plan? Do you have a plan in place? What is your marketing funnel? There is this concept when we talk about marketing and branding. You have a funnel. Where are your leads coming from? How are you talking to them? They become your hot leads. Then you convert and talk to them. They become your clients. So this is a funnel that it's a very common concept in marketing. So do you know what your funnel is? What are your goals as a practicing CA? Or even as if you're in industry, if you're watching this and you are in an industry, what are your goals as a CA? Where do you see your career growing? Do you have these goals in place? Today you are at a position, later 5 years down the line, you want to reach some position or to be known as somebody. Do you have those goals in place? Are you branding yourself? Topic for today, right? Any idea why we are asking these questions? I'll come to this particular question, why have I asked these questions at a bit later stage. But do think about these. To get these questions for you were to let you start thinking in a particular way and start analyzing what are you doing as a chartered accountant. Okay, perfect. Now, before we start, why are we even talking about branding? Let's look at that. Why do we even need branding as a CA, and why are we talking about it today? Like now, if you see branding, marketing, lot of chartered accountants have started talking about it. There's a lot of awareness that is growing around this aspect. Social media, digital, the offline things. A lot of people have started talking about it, right? But why is it growing now is a question, correct? Let's come to that question. First, we'll solve that question of why branding for CS. This number, 4 lakh. 4 lakh CAs we have in India, right? What is this number? 140 crores. The population of India. Yes. Out of those 4 lakh CAs, around 1,50,000 CAs we have as practicing CAs, right? Approximately. Just compare that to the population of India, that's 1.4 billion. Can you see the numbers? Can you see the drastic difference in the number? Like, we are so privileged. We are a very small percentage of the whole population who holds a certain degree that commands a lot of respect and trust and credibility from the audience, right? From everybody around us. But are we actually utilizing this degree to its best? We have a growing number of people who are creating a lot of content online and even offline, a lot of visibility being created and everything. But just go back and see the number of CAs doing that, the number of authentic financial information by any content creator. How many of them are, authentic or hold a degree like a CA to give the right advice? So why can't we use this advantage of being a certain limited number and give the best possible branding, build a best possible branding so that we can create a good brand for a community of CAs and give the best value to these 1.4 billion. And this is just Indian number. World population is 800 crore, right? So why are we not working on that? Why are we not tapping the population, building a brand for chartered accountants? Because we are just certain number. So we have that authenticity, we have that value of the numbers, we have the advantage of the number that we can build a brand. We already are brands. Chartered accountants are a brand in themselves. Once you get that prefix in front of your name, you automatically get that value and that respect that you can, people respect you a lot. Even I am a CA, I'm not practicing, even then I get a lot of respect from people around me, correct? So CAs are a brand in themselves, but we're not really using this brand to our benefit. I'll say that. Okay, let's be clear. We're not using this prefix of CA to our benefit. So let's do that. The second reason why CAs need to build a brand, and especially practicing CAs, let's look at some numbers. Now, this data was released by ICAI themselves. If you can see, the percentage concentrate on the sole practitioners and proprietary firms. More than 72% of CA firms are either, sole proprietary or, practitioner. So single person. And even the partnership firms, that is 27%, more than 90% of these firms are firms with partners less than 5 in number. So what happens here, why these numbers are very important and very important to analyze, is when a person or company or anybody who comes to a CA for getting a service, they want to trust that person, not the firm. They're coming to you as a practicing CA, coming by your name, because it's money, right? People want to trust somebody with their money. It cannot be a brand, or it cannot be a firm name always. Okay. So, which is why these practicing CAs then, because your identity matters so much. Even if you are in a practicing firm, any client will mostly come to you for your services, and mostly not because of the firm's name, right? That is why building a individual personal brand is very, very essential. Of course, building a firm's name for a long run is important, very important, and that's kind of a goal for even our nation, India. We want to build big six out of India. So that of course remains the dream. But till then, with building a firm's brand, you have to, because you're a service provider, you have to build a personal brand. Even partners, or let's say even owners of big companies, like let's take example of CA Aman Gupta, because he's a CA, we can relate to him. He has a company, he founded a company, Boat, which is like valued in billions, right, today. But still, he is working on his personal brand. Boat's branding is ongoing. That's different. And CA Aman Gupta's personal branding is being worked on separate. That each person, even if you are sole proprietor, even if you're a partner, even if you are a professional in any big four or any CA firm or industry, wherever you are working, you as an individual CA need to work on your branding, and that cannot be taken away. Okay, even if you start your own company's marketing branding is important. At the same time, as an owner, your branding is very important also. Okay, great. Going forward, like I said, as a service provider, people buy into you, which is why your branding becomes very, very important as a chartered accountant. Now, when we talk about branding, of course, there are a lot of reservations. The face. I because I am in this profession. Whenever I say that I work for branding or marketing for chartered accountants, I don't like using the term marketing that much, but branding. The reasons I'll tell you just when we cover this point. But whenever I say that I'm into branding for chartered accountants, I get this expression of confusion or a doubt or hesitation ki, Are branding is not allowed, right? And even if people know some way out that yes, it's allowed, but there are few reservations. Let's understand these common challenges that I have seen people face, okay, CAs face. One is they think I cannot do this, like this is not my cup of tea. I'm a professional service provider, I'm very technical person. So of course, this is something that I am not good at, so I cannot do this. First common perception. Second is this is very tough. The branding aspects I don't understand. We've never been taught branding in our curriculum, because we are so into our technical knowledge and the application that these aspects are something that we are not aware of. So it becomes very tough for us to implement, right? And the third and the most important and the most common one is this is against ICAI regulation. Now, coming to the point of why branding and marketing is different. Okay. First, let's understand a very basic and a very common clause, which explains that soliciting clients or professional work whenever you are soliciting client or any kind of professional work, either directly or indirectly by the way of circular, advertisement, personal communication, or by any such means, that's prohibited. Okay, that's against the code of ethics. Correct? So if you are directly advertising about your services, you're talking about your clients, you are trying to say to any person, even one-on-one, that I provide these services, would you like to take my services? These are unethical as per the institute. Now understand why this clause has been made. If you understand the objective, a lot of things will fall into place, and you will understand why these codes were made and what is the idea behind it. Now, the basic idea goes that as a service provider, you should be getting work because of your quality of your service and not because of the power of money that you have. Because then it will be a very it will give an undue advantage to big companies or people coming from an influential background to get clients, because then they will be able to spend on advertisement, and small practitioners won't be able to get clients, because then of course they can't spend that money on marketing. So ICI wants to value quality or service rather than the amount you are spending on the marketing. Correct? This is the base. So your quality of your work should be visible. Okay, remember these lines. Quality of your service has to be visible, right? Moving forward, the difference between marketing and branding. On a very simple aspect, marketing is pushing. Whenever you push about your services, you are constantly talking about your services, you are talking about your company or the clients, you're pushing the content. That's marketing. Okay, when you're spending money to publicize yourself, or the hoardings, the advertisements, newspaper advertisement, any kind of advertisement, because you're pushing the things, it's marketing. Branding, what does branding do is it pulls people. I'll give an example. Say if today Apple stops releasing these advertisements on TV, still Apple is such a strong brand that you will go and buy the phone, because it's build a brand for themselves, so it can still survive on the pull strategy, that people come to them automatically. They don't need to push the advertisements or marketing strategies for the sales. Okay, so that's the difference between push and pull. Explaining this again, because this will form the base of whatever strategies that we are applying. And for you to understand, whenever you are analyzing on your own also, to think whether it's a push thing or it's a pull thing. Push is not allowed by ICAI. Pull is allowed. Let me explain this again. Push means when you are pushing your content, when you are forcing somebody to read something about you, not voluntarily, but you're pushing. Okay, so for example, Google ad, when you pay for Google ad and somebody searches for something, your content comes first because you've paid for that ad, right? So that's not allowed. So that's pushing. Pulling is when people come to you through some reference, or they might have heard about you, or they search for your name on Google and then your page pops up. That is pull. They are taking efforts to come to you. That's pull, and that's allowed. So what you need to understand is you have to build on your pull strategies. You have to see what strategies, what action steps that I can apply on various platforms, so that people come to me automatically for my work, for my image, for my brand, and I don't need to spend on my marketing. Okay, so anything outbound is not allowed, inbound is allowed. I hope I'm clear, because this will set the base for all the action steps that we are going to talk about moving forward. If you are still not clear, You can anytime go to the institute website, take the code of ethics, read it, or you can connect with some of the ICI members or even connect to me on LinkedIn. We can talk it out. But you really need to understand these concepts really well. Perfect. Moving forward. Let us change this idea today. But before doing that, one of the biggest mistakes that I have seen CAs make, and especially practicing CAs make, is they consider themselves as a service provider. They never think I am a practicing CA. That's what they identify themselves as. They never say I'm a businessman. Now, why this difference, this mindset difference is a big, block, I'll say, and why it matters for branding is because as soon as you identify yourself as a service provider, you will concentrate only on providing the best of the service. Of course, that's very important as a CA. But your whole concentration, your whole focus is on just service, service, service. You then don't concentrate on growing your practice, which will come only when you start thinking about yourself as a businessman or woman also. Unless and until you do that, see, every businessman, whoever you meet, an entrepreneur, a businessman, whatever you want to call it, they will always talk about sales, marketing, branding. What do we need to do? What are our goals? Where do I want to reach? How much money do I want to make? Right? Does that mean they don't focus on the quality of the product? Or if they are into service, they don't think about the providing the best service? No, of course, that's the base. If you don't have a quality service, if you don't have a quality product, of course, these things won't matter. But just the quality product or just the quality service is not their focus. They focus on other aspects of a business, which are sales, goal, numbers. We are CAs, we study balance sheets, day in, day out. That's our work. If sales and marketing is such an integral part of any business, then why not us? Why? Just because we think that it's not ethical? No. There are definite steps that we can take ethically that you can do. But for that, first start thinking about your practice in such a way that you want to really grow it and not just depend on clients that are just coming in from reference. Okay, I think that's we just wait for clients. We don't take any efforts to get clients ethically. Moving forward, let's build this whole branding thing. And before that, I want to put in few words about branding so that the idea of branding gets clearer to you. And whatever steps that you take, you're very clear. Plus, you know what will work for you. Okay. So what is branding? Branding is nothing but creating a memory. A memory in the person's mind as to who you are, or you even exist. The first is you exist. Second is, if you exist, what are your qualities? How do you add value? This is branding. When I take your name, what will people say about you is your branding. Okay. How do people remember you is your branding. And you have to create exactly that. You have to create an image about yourself the way you want people to remember you. Okay. And that will come through visibility. You have to concentrate on visibility, visibility, visibility. Okay. I'll say this again, visibility. The more you're visible, the more you are remembered. Okay. The more you're visible, the more you're remembered. The more you're visible, the more you're remembered. Remember that. Okay. I know some people might feel very irky because people are not very open to being so visible. That's okay. We have strategies that your visibility, not only, of course, your face is the best visibility tool, but for people who are not comfortable, we can see the non-face strategies also. But the idea is you have to be visible, visible, visible. The more you're visible, the more your name is remembered. Okay. So what we'll do is we have 5 steps that we need to work upon and create a brand. So we have perfect 1.5 hours to go, where we take these steps and we create a brand for you. Now, what I want you to do along with me is, at each step, I will give a couple of minutes for you to think and to write down what you want to take back from that step, and what action are you going to take in that particular step, because each step will have various options that you can apply. So you need to choose along with me the option that is best suited for you to build a brand. Okay. Also, I'll say this again, whatever action steps that I'm taking or that I'm suggesting on the webcast is something that I have worked upon with CAs, with CA firms, but all this comes through my understanding of the code of ethics, my experience, what we have understood, what we can apply. Of course, even I am learning, because with every step, you sometimes get to learn new things. Even I keep approaching the institute or certain members who are active in the ethics board, where we communicate, we have a conversation on why this particular code of ethics is in place, what is the idea, and what is correct, what is wrong, and how can we improve on that, and all of those things. So the point is, it's my personal view, my personal experience, coming through my understanding of the code of ethics. At any point you have any doubt, please do approach the ICAI. I think that's the best resource who can solve your queries and guide us the best, right? um on that note, let's start with the steps. First step is choose your branding strategy. Okay. First step I want you to understand or to choose for yourself is, what do you want to be remembered as? Do you want to be remembered as a thought leader? Do you want to be remembered as a service provider? Okay. Or do you want to be remembered as a inspiring person or a motivator, something like that? To break it down, let me give you some examples and I'll explain each point correctly so that you can choose one for yourself. First is a thought leader. Now, who is a thought leader? A thought leader is supposed to be an expert at a certain topic, somebody who has a lot of knowledge or gives a lot of opinion on a certain topic. He has a lot of experience with which that person talks on a certain topic, and people uh, take that person as a leader in that topic, and as an expert. Okay, let's take some examples. Say for example, we all know Girish Ahuja sir is an thought leader in tax, correct? We have Damodaran sir, Ashwath Damodaram, he is in valuations. So there are these Sujal Shah, CA Sujal Shah, again in valuations. So, a person whose opinion is looked upon. So Bansi Mehta sir, whenever budget used to come, there is a big, a big gathering where Bansi Mehta sir used to speak. Because he's known as a thought leader in analyzing budgets. So whenever you are known in a certain area of work, that people look forward for what you have to say, what are you contributing, what are you saying on this topic, you become a thought leader. Now, one thing is, thought leadership need not be in a technical subject. Whatever examples I took was technical. Let's see non-technical also. Say, for example, if you follow Ankur Warikoo, He is a thought leader in entrepreneurship. A lot of people follow him for his entrepreneurial journey, his stories and everything. Same way, if you follow Anand Mahindra sir on Twitter, he shares a lot of life lessons and his opinions on what is going on. So it becomes a thought leader on life lessons and entrepreneurship on Twitter. People follow him for that. So my point is, if you are choosing thought leadership for yourself, remember, this can be something very, very valuable. You need not always choose a technical ground for yourself, but a non-technical topic also. Okay. Second is, you want to be known as a service provider. That's to gain client. Now this becomes very tricky because yahan pe it's very, very difficult to play around or work around the ethics. So you have to be very, very smart around this. So my suggestion, avoid the second point, but you can still, if you are not, so this can go for non-practicing CAs who are into consulting or who are into entrepreneurship or who are working in an industry. You can work around this service providing or entrepreneurship thing. Okay, the idea is you directly talk about you being a service provider, you being you're having a product or having a service in place. Okay, and this of course directly gets you client. So for example, as I'm not a practicing CA, I kind of work between being a thought leader and a service provider where I talk about branding. So people look forward for my content on branding, and a service provider because I openly talk about my services and I want to gain client, right? So because I'm not a practicing CA. Now, the third thing is inspiring or motivating. So, for example, you take up topics like, life lessons, you become a motivator, you become a life coach. So, not for money, just, spreading happiness. Or you, for example, there are few, I know I won't name them, but there are few CAs who give very interesting content on yoga, who give very interesting content on happiness. I know some lawyers who share very good content uh, on life and stress. So you become a inspiring individual or a motivator for people. So you build a brand for yourself that way. Now, few questions that I generally get, I'll cater to that. First is thought leader. Everybody understood. There are two parts into it. One is thought leader in a technical topic. So it can be your practice area. You can choose that, okay, as a thought leader or a non-technical topic. Second, I tell you to avoid as a practicing CA, but any audience other than the practicing CA can use the strategy. And the third is inspiring. Now, the common question that I get is, how does a non-technical topic thought leader or a inspiring, or a motivator, how does that branding help you as a practicing CA? Coming back to the meaning of branding and how do you create a brand? People remember you, you create a visibility. Visibility creates branding. Even if you are a non-technical thought leader or you want to portray yourself as an inspiring, motivating people remember you. People recall your name. You spread visibility. Okay. And that indirectly gets you people to contact. Say, for example, if, I like some person's content a lot, or, his presence a lot, he inspires me. I will definitely go and see what the person does, right? Of course, if he's talking about happiness, he might not typically be a happiness, he might not earn because of his happiness content. I'll go on his page, I'll see what does that person do, what services does he provide, and of course, that pulls people. Okay. And sometimes what also happens is clients wants to get associated with good people, good brands, as people brand. So even if you're talking about yoga, I might come to you as a, for you to be my CA because of your visibility, because of your branding. Okay. So technical thought leader can get you direct clients. Non-technical can also get you direct clients. So if you're not comfortable or if you're not finding a good way to build a technical thought leadership, try for non-technical. So because I know a lot of people who are, of course, practicing CA, but with that, they have a lot of talent. They're an author, they write non-fiction books, a lot of things. So that also helps them build a very good visibility. Right now, what I want you to do is quickly choose one branding strategy that you will apply for yourself. Either you want to be known as a thought leader. Second, I am trying to tell you to avoid as a practicing CA. Or third, you want to be known as a inspiring or a motivating person. Quickly choose one, because this will again be very important. This decision will be important for your next steps that we are going to follow. So if you are not able to come to a point and you're not able to understand right now, you can note this down or take a screenshot or whatever, and you can work on it later. You can think about it, but you have to take this first step. Okay. Second step, not many people talk about it, but one of the most crucial aspects of you being a service provider or a businessman is to understand your target audience really, really well. Now, what happens is, when I also talk to my clients, when I'm talking to CAs around me or my clients, when I ask this question, who are your target audience? Or can you explain whom are you targeting? What kind of people are you targeting? Or give me in full profile of your target audience. They are stunned. They have this big question mark as to why do I need to understand my target audience? We cater to all kind of people. That's the common answer, right? No, you cannot do that, because each brand has to speak to a certain audience. Otherwise, your brand will be all over the place. For example, if you are building a brand as a um, say a tax consultant, right, or somebody who's an expert in tax litigation, you'll have a certain target audience, right? What kind of industry or people do you generally cater to? What kind of tax cases you have mostly solved? So your target audience will be around that, correct? Say if you are a life coach, what kind of target audience do you have? As in, are you catering to the young people or the old people? If you are a financial advisor, a financial planner, do you plan mostly for young people, or are you targeting the retirement people, or you're targeting the mid-aged people? That how can you plan your retirement? What is your idea? What is your target audience? You have to be very, very clear. And this if you are clear with this, the kind of branding that you can create through your content, through your conversations, through your visibility can be a game changer. It has been for me. It can be for you also. I'll just quickly give you my example. So for example, when I started my career as a branding professional, that was 9 years back, actually 9 years back. I used to cater to all kind of audience: students, professionals, working, housewives, all the people, right? And slowly then I understood people really get confused as to what do I actually do? What kind of people am I catering to? Will I be able to help them? Am I the right person to be approached? But once I, decided on portraying myself, building a brand around branding expert for CAs, that was 4 years back. It was a game changer for me. Now the kind of leads that I get, people are very clear as to what I do, whom do I help, what value am I adding. So it becomes very easy to communicate what you do. Okay. So on that note, let's see how do you define your target audience and how can I help you define. Of course, one of the methods is 80% of your service, whom is it catered to? A particular service. So for example, 80% of your services are around tax, indirect tax, or financial, project financing. What is the 80% of your services that you're providing? You might be an expert in something. You might not even realize a lot of times that, okay, this is the maximum service that I'm providing. And this is the best response that I'm getting, this kind of service. So first is service, or 80% of the time, 80% of your clients are from a particular industry, say manufacturing industry or service industry. What is that 80% of that industry? Or it can be location wise. Say 80% of your clients are coming from the city, or it's coming from a particular country. Okay. Can be location based also, or can be sector based, service sector, or whatever sector that you are choosing. It can be that. These are just some examples. So you need to identify for your own self 80% of your revenue is coming from where. That can be your target audience. Okay. So quickly make a note of it. I'm giving you 30 seconds. Make a note of where is your 80% of your revenue coming in from. Okay, moving quickly on. Now, once you've done that, I need you to solve certain questions around understanding your target audience. The first is, who are your target audience? So you need to check who your target audience is, in the way of course, you might have identified the service that they are providing, or the product that they have, or what industry that do they come from, the location that they come from. Very important, the age bracket they are in. Maximum of your audience is from which age bracket? What is the education quality? That is understanding your target audience deeply. Okay, I'll give you my example. Of course, my target audience are practicing CAs. They are, pan-India based, but as per my observation, they are mostly from the north of India or east of India. Age bracket, most of my clients who come to me are from 30 to between 30 to 40 years of age, maximum of clients. Okay. Or it goes beyond, say, 50 plus, who do not have any knowledge about technology and want some help. Okay, so I have identified my target audience to such that. Of course, a lot of other aspects also, but right now you can work on these questions. The next is very important. The next two questions. What are their pain points exactly? What are the challenges that you are solving? Now I'll come to a very important thing as a practicing CA. You will get stuck as a practicing CA if you only see or look about the particular service that you're providing. For example, if a person is coming to you, please file my ITR. And okay, I got the ITR, I'm filing it for the person and just give it back. Ho gaya, your work is done. No, your work is not done. You study balance sheets, right? So you need to upsell them and talk to them, ask about their challenges, ask where are they facing problems. If you point out any problems in their balance sheet or some observations, talk about those challenges to them That's where your more value added services come into picture. For example, you some balance sheet comes to you, a manufacturing company, that owner is coming to you for filing the returns, and you see, they have been struggling with the sales. You ask about the challenges. Why are you struggling with the sales? What is happening? Are you looking for something? Then they say ki, yes, we are looking to grow, we are looking to expand, but we're not finding the right partners. We're not understanding, we're not getting the right valuation. That's it. You take the valuation assignment, and do the valuations for them. What happens is, we don't see our client beyond the work that they've given. You have When you start understanding their pain points and their challenges very well, is where you can provide them with the value added services, and also provide the best content online for them. When you understand what do they want to read, what do they want to solve about themselves or their services, so understand the pain points and challenge. So this is another homework for you. Once you've noted down your target audience and who they are, their demographics, age, location, everything in detail, start noting down the common pain points and challenges those clients have. Okay, make a note of them. Note down at least 10 of them. Pain points and challenges, you will get almost 10 of them. The next thing is, what are the other CAs doing around those target audience? What is the service? What are the kind of services are they providing? How do they reach out to them, or how are they connecting with them? You'll get a lot of understanding about the the services that you can provide. Also very important, when you see what other CAs are doing, you try to fill a gap by collaborating with other CAs to target those target audience. Again, something that we have been discussing a lot with other CAs is that CAs don't collaborate for some reason. One of the major reasons that we are not able to build good partnership firms or good firms like Big Fours out of India is CAs are not collaborating. They are not working together. They are not, they are not seeing the common synergies. Why can't we see what other CAs are doing? Where can I pitch in? How can we collaborate? What synergies do we build in? And how can we fill the gap to provide the best service to the client? Because nobody can know it all. You cannot do indirect tax also, direct tax also, valuations also. You cannot do everything, right? You cannot be best at everything. What you can do is be best at one very focused thing, then work with other CAs to give the overall package to your clients. And that is where collaborations come in. Okay. So when you understand your target audience, when you understand what other CAs are doing, you can fill that gap of what they are not able to do, or they are facing challenges to provide certain services to the clients. Right? So these are typical questions around understanding your target audience that you need to check. Okay. Moving forward. Like I said, target audience are not only your clients. It is also collaborations that you can do, be it collaborations with CAs. Of course, that's allowed, ethically allowed by ICAI. You can form partnerships, you can form networking firms, you can form associate firms. So many options of collaborations with other CAs. You can also collaborate with CS lawyers. Of course, the standards on that collaborations are still being worked upon. But of course, you can work in synergy with them, not exactly in a partnership form, but in providing the service form, in synergy form. आप उनसे फिर भी बात कर सकते. So you collaborate with people. Look for groups to connect with. There are a lot of good knowledge sharing groups in even CAs, be it study circle, or a lot of WhatsApp groups are being formed where you can talk about knowledge, you can talk about queries and everything. So what happens is you build that perception, visibility in the minds of people who look at your answers or questions in those groups. So this is something your target audience can be these kind of people. Clients, collaborations, or groups or expertise sharing opportunities. We'll come on that later in our branding strategies. Okay. So right now, first step we did was choosing a branding strategy for ourselves. Either you can be a thought leader, or you can be thought leader in technical or non-technical subject, or you can be a service provider, or you can be a inspiring person or a motivator, right? So you have to choose between them. Second step is understand your target audience very, very deeply, so you can provide the best of service, you can provide value added services, and also because of that you can collaborate with the right people to provide the best service to your clients, right? Coming to the third step, that is understanding the offline branding strategies that you can apply to build a brand for yourself. Now in these I will be sharing a uh, lot of strategies, different strategies offline where you can build a visibility for yourself. What you need to do is you need to choose between them, and for now work on one single offline branding strategy, whatever you are comfortable with. I don't want you to go here and there and everywhere and not be able to build a brand. But right now, if you're just starting, focus on one single strategy. So I'll be talking about a lot of strategies. You have to choose one according to your comfort level, right? Let's move forward. The very first offline basic strategy that applies to everybody. You might be a practicing CA, you might be a person in industry or whatever. The basic branding strategy that many people miss is how do you introduce yourself? Introduction is the best way to be remembered. If you have a strong, powerful, impactful introduction, people will remember you. Okay. And that introduction is, of course, the way you speak, what you speak, how you look, all these combined is your introduction. How people remember you, your face, your words, what you do, how you say, everything. Okay, first impression. But here, what we'll talk about is how do you introduce yourself. As a personal experience, I have seen so many CAs introducing themselves as, "Hi, I'm CA XYZ, and I have my firm named this, and we provide all kind of service." When asked, "What are you doing?" We provide all the kind of service, traditional practice, and they make this face traditional practice, as if they only don't like being into traditional practice, or not liking the work. That's giving a very bad impression. Even if it's in front of a CA, why do you need to do that? You need to love what you do. You might not be feeling that great that time, but still you have to portray that you love what you do. Okay, even if you're finding for something new, or you want to change, you are on a break, whatever it is, you need to look positive. So first is look positive, look excited, look happy when you are introducing yourself, because you're talking about yourself, your own self. That's a big branding point, that you love talking about your work or yourself. Okay, so let's see on a structured manner and a value adding manner how you can introduce yourself. Say, "Hi, I am a practicing CA XYZ," you can take your name. "I generally work with say manufacturing clients or manufacturing industry clients, where I'm helping them with helping them utilize or making them aware of the various subsidies that are available to the manufacturing sectors, and how a client can make the best out of those subsidies which are available, and helps them grow, right? Helps them utilize those subsidies to the best so that they can grow their business. Rather than I'm a practicing CA, I do the subsidy work. What subsidy? Not everybody will understand. You need to make them understand. Now, the tricky part is, don't talk about uh, the clients that you have. Matlab, don't take the names of the clients. You cannot do that, right? Even if asked, you can talk about your services when asked, but you cannot talk about your clients even if you're asked by people. That's the confidentiality you have to maintain. So make sure you're not revealing your client's name. You're not revealing the kind of clients you're working with. Okay, that gives a very, very direct hint. No, you cannot do that. But you can talk about the sectors, the industry, what kind of work you're doing with them. You can talk about that. Okay, so you can say about valuation. Say I'm working with a lot of startups, helping them with getting the right valuations for their funding, working on the valuation reports. आप वैसे बात कर सकते हो, but you cannot take the client's name. Okay, and make sure you talk about your services only when you're asked. So the first stage can be where you say, hi, I'm a practicing chartered accountant, working with this firm and based in this area. When you are asked what kind of practice you have is when you can say, I work with these type of clients working in this industry, or and helping them in a certain way. The idea and the reason that I'm saying this again and again is, a lot of people who are not from this financial sector, who are people, they generally think CAs are, हाँ वो audit कर देंगे, tax file कर देंगे. That's the general perception of who CAs are. But what is the value added services? How do you exactly work with the client? How do you exactly help them? Is people are not aware about. And that is why we are stuck with this image of CAs being there only for tax and audit. If you want to break this image, you need to start explaining people what you exactly do. How do you add that value to your clients? Say, for example, even if you're working with filing taxation for businessmen, right? Still, you can say that I help them build the best, if you're doing tax audit. So you can, you can always say that I'm doing the best so that they have the best audit report, good financial reports, so that they can grow and get the funding. Okay, the point is, you need to explain how do you help people. Okay, that is very, very important as a practicing CA. Coming to the other offline methods that we can see, I think I was stuck for a couple of seconds. Other offline methods that we can work on. First, so again, these are the list. You need to choose one out of them where you will start working on. Books, writing books, speaking at webinars, attending networking events, contributing in magazines or newspapers, going at events as a panelist, hosting events, or being a part of social clubs. You need to choose one of them. Okay. Now, one by one, I will explain each each strategy and what exactly can you do in that. Starting with books, you can write technical books, physical books, you can write ebooks, you can write handouts, handbooks. We all know, as a practicing CA, as a CA, we all know the value of handbooks, right? We have used a lot of handbooks. You can write non-technical books like novels, like fictional or non-fictional novels. You can do that. So book is, even if it's technical or non-technical, it's a great way of building a brand, and considered to be a very respectful way. It's so good to be known as an author. And even when a person standing opposite you says that I'm an author, your respect really grows, right? That's the, just like being a CA, being an author is very, very considered, very respectful. You know how many people in the world might have written any book? Not even 1% of the world population. In fact, I think 0.6% or something have written a book. So you come in that small percentage of people who have written a book. So first, very good, very powerful way. And you write a book not to earn money, but to build a brand for yourself. So choose a topic, be it technical, non-technical, whatever you want to write. Book is a very powerful way of creating a offline brand for yourself. Okay. There are, of course, few tools that you can use to write books. Some people will agree, not agree. ChatGPT. There is a certain way of using ChatGPT. You cannot just say, ki, write a book for me. No. ChatGPT, if you're not very good with writing, you're not very good with words, you know the subject very well. It's all there in your head, but you're not able to pen down things, is where you can use AI writing apps as I'll say, as a companion, and not as just you give them to write. No. The knowledge, the idea will be yours, everything will be yours. They're just putting those things into words. If you're not comfortable with that, use ghostwriters who will write for you using your knowledge and your ideas. There are ghostwriters who will do that for you. Okay. And then there is, of course, AI tools where you can edit whatever you have written. So why I'm saying all of this is because I have written many ebooks. My book is also into process of getting edited. So it's all here that we want to write. Whenever I ask this question, I get many people who say, I want to write a book, but it's very difficult. It's all here. It really does not take time if you start with a determination, and if you have a way you can approach. Today we are so blessed that we have mentors for everything. You get mentors to help you write a book also, who will guide you to the steps. First thing you do this, second thing you do that. There are those people will guide you through the steps. So what happens is, then you follow a structured way of writing a book, and it will be completed also fast. So use those resources that are available to write a book. Okay. Again, I'll give you a couple of seconds to note down if this is your strategy, writing a book, either on any technical, non-technical subjects or any subject, or by yourself, or ghostwriters, or any resources you want to use. Okay. Next is writing articles. Writing articles in newsletters, magazines, blogs, ICI magazines, anywhere where physically your articles are getting published. Okay. Again, technical or non-technical topics is something that you can use as a visibility tool. ICI is, I think, one of the best platforms for you as a CA, where you can send your articles if they really like it, they find it valuable, they'll definitely put it on their magazines. News magazines, again, you can either directly approach them or you can use some PR services to put your articles out there. Just a very important aspect when you're doing these things. When your article is being published anywhere, only your name as an author can come. You cannot put your firm's name anywhere, either in the article or last way when you get the credit, author, your firm's name cannot appear anywhere. Make sure of this. This is a very big ethical thing. You cannot talk about your services. You cannot talk about your firm. You cannot talk about your clients anywhere in the article or in the magazine, anywhere. Make sure of that. Otherwise, you can put technical topics, knowledge-based topics, non-technical topics, anything that you like, you can write upon and put these articles, newspapers, magazines, whatever. Okay. Third is speaking. Go and speak at events, webinars, whatever opportunity you get. Trust me, ICAI has become so open in taking speakers. You just need to be so, you can speak. ICAI has become so open. There are so many committees out there today. You can approach them. There are, so if you can see, there is central committees like this. The one conducting currently is also a central committee. Like this, there are many committees out there. There are branches. Each city area has a branch. So you can go there physically and speak. There are study circles. We all are part of some or the other study circle, right? And even online events that are happening, like this is a virtual one, right? So physical, virtual, go and speak. Take some topic you're comfortable in. Again, be it technical, non-technical, does not make a difference. It is for you to speak. So take some, and trust me, the easiest place I feel can be a study circle, because you are, constant there. You are, you're constant, you know the people well, you connect with them. So you're a bit comfortable with them speaking in front of them. And that's a small crowd. Like, if there's 20, 30 people in the room and you're speaking, you'll still be a bit comfortable. And those are known faces. So start with study circles, where there's a small crowd and you just have take 15 minutes, 20-minute session. That's also fine, but make a start. Speaking is one of the most powerful way of creating a brand. Trust me. People who speak build an automatic brand that they are confident, they are an expert, they know their subject really well. Start with speaking. Okay. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Note down if speaking and where you might speak. Note down some options. Also, one of the very easy way of speaking is becoming a panelist. Now, what happens when you're a panelist is you have a group of people. Somebody is asking you a few questions around your work or your experiences. So you need not quite prepare. You're just answering few questions, and you have people with you on the stage. So it kind of gives you a bit of comfort. Okay. So again, being a panelist is something that can be a very, very good, effective way of you to start speaking on a certain topic. Note it down. Shall we move forward? Networking events. That's again a very important offline thing, because as a CA, we all attend networking events. That's like a very regular thing for us. But still, we have not been able to leverage networking events to building a brand. What do? You go, sit, listen to the whatever the topic is, either willingly, non-willingly, for the CPERs, whatever your reason is, you just go sit, speak to few people around you and you leave. But you're not networking really well. First thing is meet people. Take a target for yourself whenever you are going for an event, that today I will be speaking to at least 10 new people. New. Why I'm saying new? Because again, as humans, we are generally stuck to people we know. So meet new people, keep a target for yourself, and make sure that you are, you know, you are meeting new people and introducing yourself. Okay. uh Introduce well, like we just discussed. Make sure you are explaining your work in detail. How are you helping people? What kind of people you're working with? Explain your services really well, because when there's clarity is when people can approach you for things. Post event steps. Once you're done with the event is when your actual work starts. Whoever you've met, send a hi message. It was great meeting you at the event. Okay. That's when the connection starts. Either you send that message over LinkedIn or WhatsApp, whatever you feel comfortable with, and the opposite person is comfortable with, send those messages, because that's where the actual relationship for you will start. People might forget you after the event, but through your messages, they will always remember. Okay. Moving forward, host. Now start hosting. If you're not comfortable speaking, not in front, at least start hosting so people will know. Organizers are also very, very powerful brand. So if you're not very good with speaking, start hosting people, start hosting events, tie up with ICI, approach the committees that I want to become a part of, the organizing members. So become a moderator. So for example, events like these, if you're not a speaker, at least become a moderator who is introducing or who's talking about the topic and who's moderating the whole panel. These kind of people so you're not exactly in the limelight, but still you get a brand. Take part in exhibitions, like for example the startup event that happens. Go and take part in these exhibitions. Become a organizing or helping member in with the institute to organize these exhibitions, again as a host.
Parinita, can you take a pause?
Yes,
We
sir.
have
I
with
just
us
we have
our
Anuj sir with us.
We have with us our chairman, CA Dr. Anuj Goyal. CA Anup, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Committee already joined, sir. Introduce and
I think we can exit the sharing screen. Very good afternoon, friends. I'm Sri Dr. Anuj Goyal. I'm the chairman of the Professional Skill and Dispute Committee, and I'm really very happy that we are having CA Pranita Adukya for this very, very important topic for the profession, branding skills for the chartered accountants. And I'm quite confident that with the help and support of all of you, we will be certainly enriching ourselves in this very, very important skill for the chartered accountants, the branding skill. And I'm quite confident that Pranita Adukya is the best professional to let us know how important the branding skills are for the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. and with the help and support of the Professional Skill Management Committee, we are committed to really do something very, very concrete to further enrich the skills of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India in the best possible manner. We are having the presence of Farid Turi sir, our honorable past chairman of Haridwar branch with us. We are going to have the Manthan and Chintan of the Central Council members in the holy city of the Rishikesh to see that how we can really have the Chintan to really do something very, very concrete for the best of the chartered accountants of the world. And through this Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, which has come into existence for the first time in the history of ICI, in the 75th year of the formation of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, only to see that how we can further enrich the best of the skills of the members of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. And the branding skills are very, very important for the members of ICAI, and Pandit Adukia ji is the best resource to help us out to know the best about the branding skills. And I am quite confident that all the delegates, I think thousands of delegates are with us from each and every part of the country, outside country also. So I once again welcome all of you. I will not be between you and Pandita ji, and I once again welcome Pandita Adukia ji. Over to Pandita. Thank you.
Thank you to CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Chairman, Professional Skills Enrichment. CA Dr. Anuj Goyal is that one has particularly has taken his time to deliberate in that one is particularly in this endeavor of Professional Skills Enrichment Committee. CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Central Council Member 2022-25 of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, qualified FCA, FCS, FCMA, MCOM, LLB, PhD, DISHA, DIRM. Besides that, he is 6 times Central Council Member, ICI, Chairman, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, Chairman, Ethical Standard Board, Convener Publication and CDS Directorate, Vice Chairman, Sustainability Reporting Standard, Vice Chairman, Taxation and Audit Quality Review Board, and members of various non-standing committees of ICI. He is dynamic Central Council Member who always with the prime objective to serve the members of ICI at large and always stands with and for the members of ICI. He had earlier served as the Chairman of CIRC of ICI and in other position of CIRC of ICI, and Chairman of the Ghaziabad branch of CIRC of ICI before joining to the ICI Central Council. We are thankful to CA Dr. Anuj Goyal for his deliberation to that one is encourage the participants for that one is professional skills enrichment endeavors. With this, I am very much thankful to our Chairman, CA Dr. Anuj Goyal. And I am handing over the session to CA Parinita Adukia for further proceeding.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anuj sir, for taking this up. This committee actually has, been such a big support and a value-added committee where we are learning something new every day. So thank you so much, sir. So continuing with the session, yes. So also with being a host, you can also become a member of associations like, I'm not promoting here any association. These are just few names that I know of, which share knowledge-based events, which is why I'm sharing the names, but you can choose your own. And again, I'm not promoting any organization or any association, but there are a lot of associations which, keep conducting a lot of value-added and knowledge-based events where you again can become an organizer or a host at such events. Okay. So again, if hosting is something that you are very good at, please note this down for yourself. This again creates a very good visibility for you. I'll move a bit fast because we are running out of time. Next is social clubs. Again, an indirect way of creating a visibility is organizing or being a part of social clubs where the agenda is, social work. Okay, so for example, Road Track, Lions Club, all these are social clubs where the members are actively involved in some NGO work or some social events that they are organizing where work is not discussed, where your services are not discussed, but you kind of become a social member with people who are there in your in the clubs or the organization where you're part of. So if either you become a member or you start such a club, such NGOs, you start those kind of clubs where you start a social event is something that you can work upon. Okay. Also, you can tie up with ICI. ICI also organizes a lot of social events like blood donation camps, medical camps, where you can, if you are inclined towards social work, you can, of course, collaborate with ICI, spread some awareness about some issue, and of course, take it up. Okay. I hope you have noted one of them down. Let me go back to these methods again. Quickly take a minute and note one of them. Either you write books or you speak at events, you attend networking events, effectively, you write articles in magazines or newspapers, you come as a panelist, you host any events, or you form or a part of a social club, which is NGO based. Works? I hope you've noted down one of them. Let's move on to online branding strategy. And this is something, if you're not a very face person, online strategy is something that can work for you very nice. Okay, if you're not very comfortable constantly being physically present somewhere or showing your face, or you're not very comfortable with, having those conversations, online branding strategy can work for you. So few of the online branding strategies that we will talk about is ebooks, like we just spoke about books, seminars, virtual networking events, blogs, podcast, social media, and videos. Okay, quickly moving forward, because we have few questions also in the chat that we will be solving. First is videos. A very, very, again, like I said, your face is the best visibility tool you can use. So if you can come up with videos on knowledge-based topics or even non-knowledge-based topics on YouTube, Instagram, or conduct live sessions on Instagram or LinkedIn or these platforms, is something that you can create a very good visibility. Now, few of the things that you need to take care of when you are releasing such videos, again, the base remains same. You cannot talk about your services. You cannot talk about your clients. You can share some knowledge, be it technical or non-technical, without asking for services or talking about your services. Yeah. So there are a lot of questions. We will definitely cater to that in the last 15 minutes. There are few tools. So for example, I know a lot of people who want to start YouTube channel, or you want to record something, but they're not very, they don't know the tools. The best is use Zoom. Start a Zoom meeting only with yourself, start recording, speak of what you want to say. If you want to use a PPT or some tool or some information, some creative, use that. Speak, stop the recording, just upload it as it is, or you can use some very convenient and free tools like InShot to edit your video and upload it. So trust me, today we don't need a lot of things. Everything is there on your laptop or your phone. Even if not laptop, phone, just start the video, record. Like I said, it's all there in your mindset. So take care of the basic ethical things. Even in your description, you cannot write your firm's name or your services or these things. So please take care of that. Otherwise, you can upload any kind of technical or non-technical knowledge-based videos. Perfect. Great. If video is the thing for you, write down video, what medium, YouTube, Instagram Reels, or live sessions, what are you going to use? And the probable tool you might use if you already have something, very good. If you don't have anything, I think Zoom or normal camera recording is also great for your recording. Let's move forward. Ebooks. Again, a very, very important, a very convenient, I'll say very if you really want to write a book and writing a physical book is getting very overwhelming for you, कि बाप रे पूरा book लिखना है, you can start with writing ebooks which are shorter version, say 15-20 pages, 50 pages book, which are short, easy reading. It can come out as handbooks, anything like that. You can write these kind of ebooks. Okay. Again, the same way we discussed about ebooks, about books. So one of the questions in the chat was, if we use ChatGPT and AI writing tools, won't it hamper your copyright issues? Very good question. Now, when you are releasing a physical book or any kind of book, if it is, see, like I said, if the knowledge is yours, if the ideas are yours, your information is yours, you just using the help of AI writing tool to form those knowledge into a more polished language. You can do that. After that, a step comes where you check for plagiarism or copyright. There are tools which help you analyze if things that you have written is plagiarized or if it has any copyright issues. You can do that. And when it comes to physical books, of course, this is a very important step of copyright, where if you're giving it to a publisher, even he will do that. The editors do that. The professionals like editors and publishers definitely take your book through the copyright process. So they make the relevant changes wherever required. Wherever there's copyright issues, they definitely cater to it. Okay. So AI writing tool, like I said, is just a small assistant for you who is helping you write in a polished language. I'll say, if you're not very good with writing, not everybody is blessed with, good vocab or good writing skills. So, this is just a helping tool. But again, if you are not comfortable, please go to ghostwriters, to editors who will take this in a professional manner. Okay. Even I have written a lot of ebooks on different topics, short ebooks, 20-30 pages, gives you an idea about one single topic. Say, for example, write an ebook on the best way to file your ITR, and you cater to all the ITR forms and the basic challenges and everything. Or say you talk about GST litigation in the input tax credit. Just write about the cases, the idea, whatever it is. So, one single focused area, and you write one ebook around that. Okay, moving forward, podcast. A very, I'll say the growing trend around podcast is humongous. A lot of people are coming with good podcast, again, around technical or non-technical topics. Now, a couple of things that you can do here is, one is you either start your own podcast. Okay. That also can be done in two ways. One type of podcast is where you choose a particular bandwidth, say, weekly, fortnightly, or monthly, you come up with podcast where you are talking about one particular topic on your own. You are sharing some knowledge. Second type of podcast is, which is becoming very popular, is you, on every episode, you call guests and you have a conversation with them. I think that's very convenient way and a very comfortable way for you to start something. Okay. And the last is, if nothing, you can go on podcast as guest speaker. Again, you have to be very careful that on all your podcast or anywhere, you're not talking about your services, you're not talking about your firm's name, you're not taking your client's name, you're not soliciting clients or talking about come to me for your services. No, it has to be either knowledge based or non-technical topic. So for example, you're sharing about stress. You have a podcast on stress. So just talk about stress. No work related, or in the sense, no service related conversations. Okay. Now the podcast is also in two ways. Either it's video or it's audio. And I'll tell you a shortcut, which I also use. Record your podcast on Zoom. Download it. When you download it, you get the two formats at a go. Video format also and audio format also. So use the video format for your YouTube channels or podcast anywhere that you're putting. And audio channel like Spotify, YouTube Music, where people just listen. So like I said, if you're not a face person, you still need visibility, go for the audio podcast. Okay. If I create video with help of free AI tool based on my thoughts and script, is that correct from the copyright perspective? Can publish? Yes, of course you can, because like I said, the idea is yours. Unless you're taking that idea also from somewhere else, should not create a copyright issue. The idea should be typically yours. The characters, now what happens, you just have to be very careful on a lot of people use character or sell characters that are copyrighted. So characters should not be copyrighted. So you have to choose the right AI tool for that. Okay. The best thing is get it made from a professional, so you don't have to worry about is it copyrighted or not and all. So I think they can take care of that. Next is blogs. A very convenient non-facing. You can keep writing blogs, and trust me, by my experience, blog is one of the most powerful way. Why? Because nowadays anybody wants to clarify anything around any topic, they just Google the question. If you keep writing blogs on a particular subject, say for example, you constantly write on GST, your blog or your articles will appear in the Google search. So the more you write your blogs, the more you are active on the Google search, your results will get better and people will come to your blog or website, wherever you're writing those blogs. The ways you can write or maintain the blog is, one is you create your own blogs like WordPress, Blogger. You can create free blogging sites on these platforms. Okay. Next is newsletter, LinkedIn newsletter, every weekly, fortnightly, monthly. You can come up with LinkedIn newsletters and you can tell your audience to subscribe to it. Guest blogs, ask people to publish your blogs on their websites or their blogs, or even invite, just like podcast, invite people to write blogs for you. Of course, you can cross-check that for the facts and whatever information you want. And if they're not soliciting the basic ethic rules, and you can invite people to write blogs for you. That's also good. Okay, you're giving a chance to other people also and writing blogs also. Again, you can use AI tools, but just check for copyright issues. Take that step of plagiarism. Grammarly for just polishing. So like I said, you can write a basic draft and ask Grammarly to polish it. So copyright issues will be less because the idea, the words, everything is yours. They are just changing few vocabulary or just polishing it to a better sentence. You can also maintain blogs on your websites. If you have a website, that is also a very good and powerful way of creating a website visibility, is by maintaining regular blogs in your website, because that way you are constantly working on your website. Your website then gets better Google search also, and people land on your website when they want to read the blog and not a separate blogging page. Okay. Content, social media, use social media to the best. Share good content. Okay. Use content tools if you want. Use Canva for creating or even writing good content. So जो designs बनती है, जैसे ये मेरा जो PPT है, that is also created on Canva. So Canva is a very beautiful platform if you're not aware about it, where you can create the creatives that are shared on social media, or जो festive post होते हैं वो सब, जो somebody is asked in the chat कि is sharing festive post and that a good idea, right? Let me quickly go to that question because it's related here. Whether we can give wishes to marriages, festivals, and social media, newspaper along with relatives. Okay, you can of course wish people on their anniversaries, marriages, birthdays, festivals, on social media, on personal, everything. But that should not solicit clients. Matlab, newspapers, I think, is something avoid. I don't want my anniversary. I don't want somebody to wish me on my anniversary in a newspaper. Okay, don't do that. Of course, one-on-one or even on social media is fine. If I'm going on somebody's wall and or even on my wall, I tag that person and I wish happy birthday. That's completely fine. No issues at all. Okay. So use social media to share good content, to connect to people, to be visible. Okay. But make sure, and this institute had a special circular around this. When you are on social media, you cannot post anything derogatory against ICAI, or you cannot troll any person or any professional. You cannot pass any casteist or religious or nationalist comments on anybody, or even on your post you cannot write anything derogatory. uh, you have to maintain professionalism around that. Is when you can be active on social media. So you need to take care and be a professional, work and look like a professional even on social media. Social media also forms platforms like WhatsApp, Telegram, and Quora also. So because when we talk about social media, generally aata hai Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. These are the platforms. No, it is also WhatsApp, it is also Telegram, it is also Quora. So whatever rules are applied there is applied here also. Okay. Quickly, I'll share some types of post. You can take a screenshot of this because I won't be able to speak much. We don't have that much time. But to ease out things for you, these are few types of posts that you can share on social media. One is where you're teaching people. Say you're sharing about some hacks, say 3 hacks to make sure you are filing the right income tax. You're choosing the right income tax form for yourself. 5 things to do before filing your returns. 3 ideas to follow so that you in your next financial year, so that you file your returns on time. 5 books to read to get the basics clear. Steps to take to choose the right strategy. So something knowledge based, we are sharing something where you're teaching people something. You can share those kind of posts. Something motivating, say you share about your experiences, you any somebody's life story, your life story, what you've gone through, the challenges, how do you succeed, everything, those kind of inspiring posts. Remember the branding. So if you've chosen branding or inspiring as your branding strategy, these are some of the ideas that you can apply for the kind of post you can share. Opinion, where you have opinion about things, something that is going around in the economy or around you, social impact, anything where you share opinions. Now make sure don't share any religious, political, geopolitical issues. Please stay away from those. Even if you have a strong issue, don't if you strong opinion, don't put that on social media. A very, very humble request. Okay. Like I said, in red, no clients, no services, no soliciting. Okay. All the more easy ways of updating or posting is where you talk. So these are allowed. Please make sure you go to the ICAI Code of Ethics again to just reconfirm. But if you want to post about any vacancy in your firm, any firm update. So for example, you have there's a new joinee as a partner. You can talk about that. You've opened a new office, or you're traveling somewhere without mentioning if it's a work travel or who's the client. Wo sab nahi. I'm just traveling. That's fine. You put up a WhatsApp story. That's okay. Okay, you're traveling to that city. That's okay. Work hai, kya hai, mat mention karo. You say, for example, you switch to some software which is proving very good for you. You can update about that. WhatsApp status is a very powerful way of being very, very active I didn't know this for quite a long time, but I've realized that people are very active on WhatsApp status, Instagram story. You can be very active there and share things, even about your personal life. But again, anywhere, galti se bhi, there should be no indication of the place, the client place, or, people get a hint. Don't do that. Okay. Of course, simplifying amendments that a lot of people are doing. They're talking about amendments. A lot of CAs do that. But try to be value adding when you're talking about any circular or notification, where you actually talk about how does that circulation work, or what is the implication or the after effects or the application of the amendments. Because people talk about ye amendment aaya hai, but how will it be useful? Wo nahi batate log. So you have to be careful about that. Last is where you talk about any books that you've read, webinars you attended of other people, seminars that you attended, blogs that you read. You tag other people. That gives again a very good view that you share about other people's success also. Okay. Seminars, like just we covered about webinars, you can go and speak at various virtual events. Please take a note of this. We don't have time. I'm moving forward. And the last step is planning your resources. What happens is one of the major things I think is we don't plan our strategy, or we don't see what are the steps that we should be taking. Ha, ye karna hai. But how do you need to actually go about taking the action is something we don't plan. So take these particular steps. First is set goals for yourself, set some targets. What do you want to achieve? How will you quantify them? How do you measure them? Have to set goals for yourself. Second is, please don't do everything on your own. Either keep a team or find resources who will do something for you if you don't have time. If you're so tied up with providing the services to your clients, you are a service provider, right? If you don't have time for digital marketing, as in branding or sales or working on those aspects, keep a team or find some resource for that. The third is make sure you have all the tools that are required, say Zoom or blogging websites or whatever method that you're choosing. You have the right tool to apply those strategies. And the last, of course, very, very important, keep reviewing whatever strategies or plans that you have and keep executing, keep changing. If something is not working out, it's completely fine. Change the strategy. See what is working, what is not working for you, do that. Okay. One thing very important, either while speaking, while writing, even in your profile, you cannot use the word expert. Say, for example, you cannot say, I'm an expert in GST. You cannot use the words like expert, best resource, or I'm India's top GST expert, professional. Wo sab you can't use. The idea is to not call yourself as an expert, but brand yourself so strongly that people call you as an expert. Okay, that's the idea here. So few things, and I'll cater to the questions then. Some few questions are related to these points also. You cannot pay on Google ads to, like we had discussed, you cannot pay on Google to push your website or Google ads. That's not allowed. Just Dial. Now, Just Dial is very, very controversial. What happened is when the Just Dial was a very limited platform where people used to call I want this kind of a service, and then your name popped up or something. And there were some regulations that you can only list yourself under the CA category without any name preference or something. The same applied for Sulekha. But now what has happened and why it is getting tricky to get listed on Just Dial, there's a lot of talks about is because Just Dial have come up with hashtags and tags that you can use tags like GST and those tags which will help you come up higher in the search. So that's become a bit tricky and people have started objecting. So my opinion, don't put on Just Dial because it's might be ethically wrong. Again, I'm also researching a lot on this. This is a very common question that I get, and I'm trying to get the right answer for this. Please do, and if you have any doubts, please consult ICI. Can we put our firm's visiting card on WhatsApp status or profile? Profile, yes. WhatsApp status, no. Why? Because profile is a pull method. I need to take so visiting card मत डालो ना, detail डालो. आपको address डालना है, that's allowed. आपको contact detail डालना है, that's allowed. Which means profile, why it's allowed is because I have to take specific, as a client, I will need to take action to go on your profile and check. You're not pushing your profile to me. WhatsApp status is push. So you need to be very careful on what you're putting on WhatsApp status. Okay, because it's a push thing. It is pull also somewhere where I again go to your WhatsApp and check your status. But still, to be on a safer side, don't put your visiting card there. Yeah, very frankly, I'll tell you, I come out of this thing that distributing visiting card or telling people you're giving visiting card or showing visiting card will get you clients. It does not. It does not. It is the branding that you need to create. Okay. Few more questions. Having CA in the domain name of the domain of the website. Yeah, that's not an issue. Firm's name.
Ma'am, we'll read out the questions for you. Can I ask that?
Sure. Quite a few I've already answered. So
Yes, just not to miss anything, I will ask Ashish to do it for us,
Sure.
because all of them will be beneficial out of it. Thank you so much, Varnidhi ma'am. I recognize the presence of our respected Anuj Goyal ji. Due to some technical reason, I was not able to connect online. Thank you so much, sir, for backing up me. And so, Anuj ji, I should definitely say that your committee is doing a very great job on behalf of Thrissur branch members and all other members present over here. We should say a big thank you to you, sir. Thank you, Anuj ji, for your wonderful support. And Parnidhi ji, but the session was very wonderful, and we are enlightened, and that can be seen from the question answers we received throughout the program over here. I request our CA Ashish Vincent to go through the questions, and which will enable ma'am to answer the questions in a proper way. Ashish, it's over to you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think you have already answered many of the questions. I would like to say one question. What suggestion you give to second generation chartered accountants who is known by the firm name?
So it is just like, Abhishek Bachchan facing issues with the brand name of Amitabh Bachchan coming along. So yes, it can get a bit tricky, but what I have seen and what I feel is the next generation is very smart and they are better at branding than us. If they really go to that path, they can create a very strong individual brand name also, and also help the firm with the branding, because they have the natural instinct of branding and using the right content and the tools and technology. So I think that should be easier for them, because using the strategies is something that we can build. Of course, I will say use that the firm name, the legacy that is attached with your name is a positive thing. Use that, help that grow, but at the same time build a individual branding also. And choose a tool, choose a platform where your firm is not present. So that will give you a separate identity then. Or one of the good ways is also choose a non-technical way of building a brand. Say you're very good at music or you're very good at arts, so build a brand there. so it's not related to your firm anyway.
One more question. Can choose a different domain name for my website other than my firm's name?
No.
Okay, the straight answer is no. Uh, and you have also told about ChatGPT and AI, so we'll skip that questions about that copyright and infringements. Now, a specific interest for the guidance for the people shifting from industrial job to practice.
Okay, specific. Okay, okay. Um. Okay. It's tricky question, but the way you can start is first is try to align your industry experience to what area you want to practice in. Don't start with everything. Don't practice in a, come with this baggage ki I need to do everything of audit, tax, everything. Because you have a certain industry expertise or some experience, try to take around that, work around that, and see where can you then practice in a focused manner. Don't do everything. Second is, if you're coming from industry, of course you get the best of both worlds. You already have a good network in industry, and now it's your responsibility to build a good network amongst the CA fraternity, practicing CA fraternity. So work on that network, because you get a lot of experience out of the practicing CAs, how to practice, what are the challenges, where can you work, and you can collaborate with them to fit in the and fill the gap that we spoke about. I think this is something that you can start with.
Okay, you have mentioned about not being advertised in Just Deal, but someone is asking that can a CA have a Just Dial account?
Okay,
It's been
again,
trying to get removed.
I'll just say that I am as confused as you are, because there are a lot of talks around this happening. I'm trying to find the best answer to this. But as of now, my suggestion, my personal opinion can be just stay away from it until we get a clarity.
One more question. Can the website address be mentioned in the visiting cards?
Okay. This is something I've seen a lot of firms doing, and there is no particular law against this. So right now my answer will be yes, you can definitely mention website address. There's no particular issue with that. Your address, your website, your contact details can be mentioned. The CA logo can be mentioned, but nothing else. Like your services, your extra degree, all those things can't be mentioned on visiting card.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashish. I would also like to request you to have a summary of the entire program. Ashish, go ahead with the summary.
Yes, the session was very nice. So, in this session, we have understood the major 4 questions: how, why, what, and when of a personal branding for a chartered accountant. If done well, it can be the most strategic medium for building brand visibility. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashish, for the wonderful summary. Thank you, Parinita ma'am. I would like to request CA Satish TG, Vice Chairman of Thrissur branch, to propose the formal vote of thanks.
Just a minute. Yes, it's such an honor to be part of this wonderful webcast on branding skills for chartered accountants, organized by Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of ICA. On behalf of Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Parinita Adukia, for her enlightening session, and CA Dr. Anuj Goyal, Chairman, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICI, CA Sri Priya Kumar, Vice Chairperson, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICI, for their active guidance. Sincere thanks to the event enablers at Thrissur branch of SARC of ICI, who enabled the webcast throughout. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organizer, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee of ICI, our today's speaker, CA Parinita Adukia, and other stakeholders who made this webcast a memorable one. finally, we would like to thank all of you present and helping us to make this webcast a grand success. Thank you to one and all.
Thank you so much, Satish Dixit. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you.